Good morning, y'all. It's welcome to Sidewinder Shed. Um, Saturday. It is 10 past 8 local time, East Coast, United States. Um, June 20th, and again, I know I haven't been on much at all. Um, Heck, did a couple of short videos 2 weeks ago, I think. But anywho, yeah, I figured I'd get back on for a little bit right now. See what's going on. See if anybody's still out there, still remembers me. All that good stuff. Um, Not a whole lot as far as any content goes, as per usual. Um, just just working, dealing with life. I did replace the left side of the exhaust on the Dodge. Got rid of the flex pipe on it. Went with solid pipe. That's the biggest thing I've done. But other than that, it's just been the daily grind, just been work. Hey, good morning, Kenneth. Glad to see you popped on. How you doing, buddy? You at home or you on the road, man? And if you're at home, did you get your new Wi-Fi set up yet? Your internet stuff? Because if you did, I'm kind of looking forward to being able to go up there and do a live stream with you sometime. I think that would be fun. I know we had a good time when we were in Tennessee. Had a lot of fun, acting like a couple idiots, but we still had fun. Ah, yeah. Uh, on the road, waiting on weed. Okay. Weed is not what y'all think he's talking about. Weed is a person. So he's waiting on a friend of ours, Tony Weed. So, anyway, just want to clarify that because he does have a CDL, and in case his boss is watching, although his boss does know Tony Weed, so he knows who he's talking about. But yeah, it probably is. Okay, yay. Uh, it's probably the return line. Uh, my brother-in-law John just told me that there's a wet spot under the truck. Smells like gas, and I've been smelling gas, so it. I'm thinking it's the return line. I probably should check that out, considering I smoke and everything. So, but today, yeah, I know, it's hard. Yeah, well, Chris is supposed to be quitting too. Yeah. Oh yeah, I know. Yeah, yeah. On the road heading to Henderson, Kentucky. He's in Lowmore, Virginia, trying to wake up. Oh, I got you. I've been up since 3 o'clock, and I'm still trying to wake up. Lomar is how you pronounce it, I guess. But anyway. All right, question for y'all. Have you, especially on social media, all over the place, what do y'all think of of the European invasion here for the World Cup. I'm originally from New England, so's Kenny. And hey, Eric. Oh, good. I'm glad you showed up. I'd like to hear your opinion on what you think of the World Cup being here in the States. But as I was saying, I'm originally from New England, and I'll tell you what, you got the Tartan Army up there, all the Scots and everything. And they seem to be having such a great time. It's one of the few times in my life since moving away from Massachusetts that I really wish that I could have been up in Boston. We were going to go up um, over the 4th of July and everything, but things have changed. Things have changed, so we're not going to make it this year. Although my nephew Kenny will be up there, and from what I've heard, even though the Scots might not make it, as far as the team goes, there's quite a few of them that want to hang out and see what the 4th of July is going to be like in Boston. And I think, my God, I think they're going to be in for a shock. Although it probably won't be quite as exciting as if they were in a little bit more pew pew friendly state. But the fireworks and everything up there, I mean, Boston does put on a good show, especially 4th of July and everything. That's the big thing. Down south, it's more the Revolutionary War that's talked about and celebrated. Up in New England, it is the War of Independence. And here's Philip. Hey, buddy, how you doing?
Hey, I'm doing all right. How you guys doing?
Oh, still hanging in there, buddy.
I'm in the kitchen right now. I thought I'd get in the refrigerator to grab a beer, and the kitty cat saw me in the refrigerator, so he wants his shrimp.
Oh, I got you.
I gotta feed him some shrimp, so but just go on, keep talking, I'll be with you in a second.
Oh, hey, and Eric, yeah, it is awesome. You know what? It's so nice to see all these people come over and find out and hear from them themselves. The states, no matter where they're at, Texas, Florida, Boston, they're all just having a great time, and they're sitting there going, "This is not what the media told us to expect." They're really enjoying themselves. And as far as culture shock goes, even though I've been out of New England for roughly 30 years, no, having the Scots there, that is not a culture shock for people up there in Boston. I mean, that's our roots, Scott, Irish. Yeah, so look, you have to respect anyone, any visitor, group of visitors that can come to New England, go to Boston, and make all the bars run out of beer. Those are our kind of people.
Yeah, I heard about that. I think it was the Irish that did that.
No, it was actually the Scots. It was actually the Scots. Yeah, but we could start a friendly rivalry here in Boston between the Scots and the Irish, and see who can make them run out of beer again.
Yeah. Don't get me wrong. I'm not trying to stereotype here, but I'll tell you what. I was on YouTube. There's a girl, and I don't know if she's Russian or Ukrainian or what, but she's putting up short videos because she's visiting Chicago.
Oh my God! Yeah.
And while she's out, she's just shooting short film clips of the city of Chicago and the different places that she's at.
Yeah.
And she's in the downtown Loop area and everything. And I can't understand the words she's saying, and there's no translation for what she is saying. So, but what I'm doing is I'm writing in the comment section of, saying where she's at or whatnot, or the angles that she's looking at, what street she's on, and that kind of stuff. Kind of letting her know that, because I know that once she gets the messages, she can translate it into her language.
Right.
And then she'll realize that there's somebody there that actually knows what they're talking about.
Yeah.
Been there, done that kind of thing. You know what I mean? So,
Oh, I got you. Well, it's like a few I've been corresponding with, because one of the universal things that can bring people together, besides beer, alcohol, is food.
mathematics.
Now, food, food.
Yeah, food. Yep.
And one thing I miss about New England is the seafood. Okay. And I've seen a few videos of them trying the New England clam chowder.
Clam chowder.
Yep. And I will tell you what, with the oyster crackers that you throw in there, and had to tell them, yeah, that's absolutely fine. That's the way it's supposed to be eaten. You toss them right in there.
Yeah.
Everything's great. But what they also have to try, and anyone that's never been up to New England, three things you really have to try if you ever get up there. One is the whole fried clams. They're not just clam strips. They got the belly in them. Okay, you're not going to find a better flavor. I mean, I've had clam strips all over the United States, and they're good, but you don't get the flavor. You get the flavor from the belly. Okay, and so yeah, you have got to try that. Second thing is speaking of clams, the steamers. All right, they're not just these regular run-of-the-mill clams that you get. An actual New England steamer. And there is a difference between what we call steamers and steamed clams. All right, steamed clams is the way you cook them. Steamers are a certain type of clam, and we call them baby clams. They're little clams. They're small, but they have the best texture, the best flavor, and don't be surprised. I mean, if you eat 50 or 60 of the damn things, I mean, it's real easy to do. Third, and a lot of people from New York are probably going to give me crap about this, but New England, especially if you're going into Fenway Park, okay? And I know they used to do it. I don't know if they do it anymore. There's a little place called Casey's Diner. Casey's hot dogs. They are boiled in beer or steamed in beer. They will beat any, and New York is very famous for their hot dogs, okay? Street vendor hot dogs and everything, but they will beat any New York hot dog you can get. And you can get them New York style. You can get them, with sauerkraut and mustard, whatever you want on them. But they used to have, years ago, they used to bring a cart, a hot dog cart into Fenway Park, so you could get Casey's hot dogs. They're in Natick, Massachusetts, which is not that far away from Boston. Hell, Massachusetts is not a big state, so nothing's very far away from Boston compared to other states. But it's only about a 20-minute ride, not including the damn mass hole traffic. But it's only about a 20-minute ride from Boston, right in Natick, Massachusetts. Little tiny place. Okay, it's not much. Honest to God, it's not much bigger than maybe twice the size of my back porch, and it's been there since the 1800s. Late 1800s, and I really, if you want a true American hot dog, one of the best you're ever going to have in the world, other than making it yourself, Casey's hot dog, Casey's Diner.
I've heard of them. I've heard of Casey's hot dogs, so that'll give you an idea.
Yeah,
I mean, because first of all, I'm originally from the Chicagoland area, and Chicago's notorious for their hot dogs too. And there's a couple of things I'd like to mention about that. But here's my point: I've never been any farther. When I was in Chicago, I've never been any farther than the state of Ohio going east, and that's just because I missed my turn. I had to come around, turn on, and come back.
Yeah,
so I've really never been any farther than Western Indiana going east. So if I've heard of Casey's hot dogs, that means that's saying something. You know? When you can hear about Casey's hot dogs all the way to Chicago, then you're famous. Just like that Nathan's hot dogs, but
yeah. Well, I'll tell you what, Casey's has got Nathan's beat. Although there is absolutely nothing wrong with Nathan's. Absolutely nothing wrong. It's just, I
don't know who it is. It might be the Nathan's hot dogs, but. They, first of all, they use actual real casing.
Yep.
and they got that crunch, but I don't care for that crunch. I just don't care for it.
Oh, I got you. Well, that's
And
one of the
Chicago
things.
style hot dogs don't have that either. And here's another thing about Chicago hot dog. Now, first of all, there's a location. There's one hot dog place that I used to go to on a regular basis. And it's actually right in a very famous and historic district of Chicago. It's right at the corner of the Broadway and Lawrence. Broadway is a North and South Street. Lawrence is an East and West Street. If you go take Broadway far enough south, it ties in with Clark Street, which is where the Wrigley Field is on. All right.
Yep.
But anyway, the corner of Broadway and Lawrence is it's got a lot of historic. First of all, it's the Uptown Theater District. You have 3 theaters there. You have the Uptown Theater, you have the Riviera Theater, and you have the Aragon Ballroom. And these places in the modern times, they do a lot of concerts and stuff like that. But what's also on that corner is the Uptown Bank. And I used to have to do a lot of work at the Uptown Bank doing heating and air conditioning work. And what's kitty corner from the Uptown Bank is a series of buildings. And on the ground floor, there's a hot dog place. And matter of fact, right next door to the hot dog place is the Green Mill Tavern, which is very famous, but I won't get into that. But yeah, the Green Mill, down here, I can watch television commercials for the State of Illinois Board of Tourism, and they're showing all the historic sites, and they flash the Green Mill. That's how significant it is. It goes back to the old Al Capone and Bugs Moran days,
Oh, I gotcha.
But that hot dog place is right next door to that, and that's the best hot dogs I've ever had. But at the time, in the late '90s, paying $3.50 for a hot dog was ridiculous. But I guess that's the going price now.
Yep, I got you. And it's funny. 2 things I want to say. First off, I just caught myself. I misspoke when I was talking about celebrating. When I was talking to Eric, about 4th of July and everything, and celebrating. Yes, Massachusetts and New England is bigger into the Revolutionary War, and I misspoke and said said Virginia was into the Revolution. No, Virginia is more and down south past the Mason-Dixon line. They're more into the Civil War. And I'm sorry, that was just my damn Yankeeness coming out using the word Revolutionary War. But, a little bit of 110 years difference between the 2 wars. But anyway, I wanted to get that straight. Down here in the South, they're more into celebrating the Civil War than they are the Revolutionary War, the War of Independence. But with that being said, Virginia, where I'm at right now, was one of the original 13 colonies. As a matter of fact, the Pilgrims that landed in Plymouth, Massachusetts, they were actually headed for Virginia, but they were late leaving in the season and ended up with the currents and the wind up in Massachusetts. And the reason why they stayed there too, believe it or not, and here the Scots and everything, this goes right back to what I was talking about, even though these were Puritans. The reason why they stopped there is because they ran out of beer. I am not kidding you. I mean, you got to remember this is back in the day where you couldn't trust the water on a ship and everything. So they considered beer a staple. It was basically referred to as liquid bread.
Right.
All right. And it was nutritious as well as safe to drink. And it, it wasn't as strong as the beers that we have now. They had small beers is what they called them. Very low alcohol content in them.
Yep. And near beer, that was a thing in the 30s when shortly after Prohibition was repealed. Near beer became a thing. In fact, they'd even let kids drink that,
Yeah, speaking of beer, now I haven't had a beer in like 2 weeks, but since my friend Sean is here, would you go in the fridge? And I mean, that beer you see in there has been sitting there for 2 weeks. Could you hand me a bottle? No. Oh, yeah. Sean says I still have beer because he hasn't stopped by. But anyway, where was I going with this? Beer. beer, of course.
Yep. Yeah, that's where it was going. It was all about the beer.
Yeah,
The long way to get around to the beer.
beer and the food.
Yeah.
You know, no matter where you're at in the world, no matter what culture you're from, you give somebody some good food,
Yeah.
and that
Well,
that
that's,
brings
you
everyone
know,
together.
well, that's the thing about Chicago too. If you visit Chicago, because Chicago's also well known for its restaurants, and you've
Oh my
got
God,
every
yeah.
kind of food that you can find. In fact, I've mentioned this before, but Chicago, I don't know if they're still doing it, but they always had a festival every year right in Grant Park, which is right on the lake shore, uh, called the Taste of Chicago.
Yep.
And it's a big, huge food festival, and all these restaurants set up these little tent booths, and they get out there with their cookers and they're cooking up stuff. And I know I've mentioned this before, but the first time I ever had alligator was not here in the deep south on
Yep.
the Gulf Coast. It was in Chicago, you
I
know.
got you. I got you.
But
You know,
and everything, yeah. I mean, you Korean foods,
yeah.
Chinese, Japanese,
Yep.
Cantonese, African foods, South African foods. Haggis, Scottish
Oh my God, yeah.
delicacy.
You
You can
know,
get it all there.
well, here's the thing too. That when we say America is a melting pot, all right, you had the
Yeah,
different cultures. You
yeah,
had everyone that was coming together,
yeah,
and what they brought with them was their food,
yeah, yeah,
and their music. Okay, and
yeah,
what happened when they got to the states is over time, because the ingredients were different. You can't find everything.
yeah.
Uh, in the states that you could find back in the old countries. Okay, so we changed it and we made it our own. It has roots,
Yeah. Yeah.
Back. And same with the music too. Over time, the music has changed
Well,
and
and
we
that's
made
the
it
thing
our
about
own.
yeah, that's the thing about Chicago. Chicago was, and it starts with actually with the railroads, and
Hmm.
I'll explain that in a second. But see, uh, uh, everything just kind of migrated to Chicago. Anything down here in the South
Oh
it
yeah.
would go up the Mississippi River because just as you had trade coming down the Mississippi River,
Yep.
you had trade going up the Mississippi River. And with musicians, blues music and
Oh
New
my
Orleans
God. Yeah.
style music, that ended up in Chicago.
Yep.
Kansas City barbecue ended up in Chicago. You can get yourself some of the best barbecue in the city of Chicago outside of Kansas City,
Yep.
and uh, the, just you name it, And the reason for that is, like I said, was because of the railroad. And I like to tell this story because, see,
Give me 1 second though. I
okay,
got to talk to Sean for a second.
okay,
All right, give me 1 second. What's up, buddy? Okay, I thought you said you needed a favor or something, or no? Oh, okay. All right, just want to make sure. All right. Oh, yeah. I'm sorry, Phil. Go ahead, buddy. Sean was here, and I
well,
didn't want him sitting here if he. I thought he said he needed to ask me something. So I'm
yeah,
sorry, but go ahead. Railroad, yes.
yeah, the railroads way back in the day, back in the 1800s, and still to this day, for that matter, all the railroads kind of come into Chicago and they dead ended Chicago.
Yep.
If you're coming from the east, you stop in Chicago. If you're coming from the west, you got to stop in Chicago. Everything, Chicago is a railroad hub.
Oh yeah.
With that being said, like for instance, if you were coming from the east and going west, you'd have to take a train to Chicago.
Yep.
Train stops in Chicago. I mean, it's the track actually stops, and you got to get off that train and
Yep.
get on another train to continue on. Matter of fact, there's one very famous train line that still runs. Amtrak runs it, that leaves out of Chicago and goes up to Washington State, taking the northern route, flanking the old Highway 90
Yep.
uh, and Interstate 90 now. But anyway, so I'm on a train. I'm on an Amtrak, and I had went to Milwaukee, and I was coming back to Chicago, and there wasn't a whole lot of people there on the train. There were very few people on the train, and the conductor, he's just kind of standing there. He's got nothing to do. He's checked all 12 people's tickets,
Right. Right.
And so we just start striking up a conversation. This one lady starts with the conversation first, and I kind of jump in, and then the conductor starts telling this story that I thought was pretty funny, actually, because like I said, all trains got to stop in Chicago. The tracks stop,
Right.
and
Yeah.
he says now if you people know about the railroads in Chicago and how they meet up in Chicago, he's like you'll get this. He says because when it happened to me, he says I thought it was funny. He says, but he's a conductor on another train, and they're headed to Chicago. And this lady that was on board had a ticket going to wherever, someplace out west, And she asked the conductor. She says, "Excuse me, but is this train going to stop in Chicago?" And he says, "Lady, if it don't stop in Chicago, there's going to be one hell of a wreck."
Oh, hell yeah. Yep. Oh, I gotcha.
But see that started with the history behind that is Cornelius Vanderbilt, and I get more into his history in a minute. But it is that Cornelius Vanderbilt was a wealthy railroad tycoon, all up and down the eastern seaboard. There, just about every railroad, all up and down the eastern seaboard, Cornelius Vanderbilt either built or had something to do with, or bought out. Either way, and the rumor is that his wife was sick and tired of shopping New York, and she had heard that Chicago was a great place to shop, but there was no railroad going out there. So he built a railroad actually, I think it started in Albany, New York, and follows the lakeshore all the way over to Chicago, just so his wife could go shopping in Chicago. And that actually created a whole lot of commerce back and forth between Chicago and the East,
Oh,
So,
being married myself, I put a lot of faith in that story.
Yeah. But here's the thing about Cornelius Vanderbilt, a lot of people don't know. But see, prior to the Civil War, there were a lot of little railroad companies.
Yep.
Some of them more familiar ones would be the Pennsylvania Railroad or the B&O and all of those that you can find on your Monopoly board.
Right, right.
But here's the thing. Prior to the Civil War, all these little railroad companies, they were in competition with one another.
Yep.
And how they would keep a competitor from operating on their tracks was all the railroads made different width tracks. You'd have narrow gauge and wide gauge and anywhere in between. Therefore, your competitor couldn't run his train on your tracks.
Right.
You see, the tracks that costed you millions of dollars to lay down and some other guys making money off of, so this is how they did it. Well, during the Civil War, the railroad played such a significant role in the war for both sides. And then once the Union had succeeded in that war, what the federal government did was they wanted to standardize the railroads.
Yep.
And they pretty much just gave whatever was captured as a result of the war, they just gave it to Cornelius Vanderbilt, essentially giving him a monopoly. And that existed for, a few years.
And here's something that's real interesting. When they went to the standard gauge that we run to this day, and they had to change all the tracks, you can Google this. All right. Now, some had already been done, but all the main lines were all converted, believe it or not, and you find this friggin' unbelievable. All the main lines were converted in 72 hours. That's a shitload of work.
Yeah.
But it
is a lot of work. But stop and think about it. All you got to do is go out there and move one rail a few inches.
Yeah, you would think, but that was and that's what they did eventually. But eventually, they also had to change the railroad ties because the tracks they were wider, they had more weight. So eventually, they had to go back and upgrade the infrastructure. But to get them from the narrow gauge and all these other gauges that was running throughout the country, They had it done in 3 days, basically, 72 hours.
Yeah.
And that's just amazing because and I'm still talking about going from, Boston all the way out to California through Texas. I'm talking, it wasn't just the East Coast.
Yeah.
They did the entire 3,000 over almost 3,800 for, cross country. They had the entire thing made to adjusted to
Standard gauge.
standard
Yeah.
gauge within 72 hours.
Yeah. Yeah.
That is friggin' amazing. I mean,
There's
we
there's
can't get a pothole even when they're
Yeah.
working
Yeah,
on
you
it.
can't get a
They
pothole
can't
filled in
build
72 hours.
within 72 hours. And that's with the guys standing
Yeah.
around looking at the damn thing
Yep.
for
Too
3
much
days.
bureaucracy
Yeah.
nowadays. Too much bureaucracy. And God, that led me on to one thought. But just prior to that, I was thinking I'd like to tell you this story real quick, that there's a very touristy kind of site that people like to visit when they're in Chattanooga, Tennessee, and that's a site called Ruby Falls.
Yep.
I don't know if you've ever heard of it.
Yes, sir. I have. Yep.
But it's a nice place to visit. I've been there. I've checked it out, and it is kind of cool. But here's the backstory to that as to how Ruby Falls came into being and it starts back with the Civil War and the Union taking over the railroads. That there was actually a cave there on the side of a mountain, and the railroad had come through and put a railroad in, and
Yep.
there was a cave there. And during the Civil War, that cave was used as refuge, for refugees and stuff, and kind of trying to duck the armies, and it later became a hospital. They were actually treating wounded soldiers inside this cave. And at the end of the Civil War, when the railroads were taken over by the federal government, they closed up that cave. They blocked it off, and it stayed that way ever since the Civil War, up until I don't know, it was 1930s or 1940s, when this guy wanted to open up the cave as a tourist attraction, but it was still under the control of the railroad. And they said, no, you're not going to do that. So he got a clever idea, and he went. Now, like I said, this cave's on the side of a mountain. So
Right.
what he did was he went and bought property on the top of the mountain and decided to drill down
Yep.
into that cave. Well, he came into another cave before he ever got to the original target cave, and he started exploring that cave, and that cave is now what is Ruby Falls. So
Okay.
that's the
I got you.
story behind that. But still to this day, they've never bothered to bore any deeper
Yep.
because the Ruby Falls is making them money,
Right. Right.
and
right.
that guy's long since dead, and his family, and his kin are still making money off of that tourist trap, But here's the latest story: is that for some reason the waterfall inside of Ruby Falls is drying up, and people don't know why. But you know what? You're way up on the top of a mountain. Where could that water be coming from anyway?
Right.
Huh?
Right. And not only that, but you also have to take into account the infrastructure. What's building around, what's been using the water,
Yeah,
and not just the water from Ruby Falls,
Yeah.
but what feeds it.
yeah. But here's another interesting story. See, because that's my father's old stomping grounds, and ever since I was a little kid, we'd go up into those areas. And there's one mountain there called Beaver Mountain. An interesting part about that is engineers back, the Tennessee Valley Authority, which was they came into being in the 1930s to
Yep.
build dams along the Tennessee River to generate power. And most of the South gets all their power from the TVA.
Yep.
And one of the things that they did was on top of Beaver Mountain, what they did is they cut the whole entire top of the mountain off and then bored it out like a big
Bowl.
sink, like a big bowl.
Yep.
And they fill that bowl full of water, and that water's got a drain in it, just like a sink. It goes down inside the mountain. That water falls straight down through a big, huge, giant pipe it falls down in there and turns turbines that generate electricity. And they also replace the turbines on them so that what they can do is they can do a phase reversal of the power. Instead of generating power for the general public, they can buy power from another company, run the pumps backwards because it's all DC current,
Yeah.
and suck water out of the Tennessee River and refill the bowl.
Refill it. Yeah. Yeah.
And they can do it so efficiently that they actually make profit.
Yeah,
so that cost of buying the energy to pump the water back up,
yep.
You know, there's actually enough money left there for them to actually make a profit and keep the thing sustained and operating.
Well, you know, being gearheads, most of us understand that a generator and an electric motor are exactly the same thing. It depends where you
on DC current. All you got to do is reverse the polarity.
Just reverse it. That's it.
You make it run the opposite direction.
Put the positive cable on the negative side. Put the negative cable on the positive side. Now you have a motor.
And see,
switch it around, you have a generator.
You caught me on that one because for me, I consider that common knowledge. Everybody should know that, you know. But you'd be surprised. Not everybody knows that nowadays, you know.
No, that's
most people got no clue as to how electricity works, you know.
No, and that's one of the things, you know. Even your regular fan, your regular square
ceiling fan,
you can turn that into a generator.
Yeah.
You know, not
well. The fact that it can be reversed tells you that that's running on a DC current. So there's got to be something in there, like a rectifier, to switching that 120 volts AC into a DC current. You know.
Yep.
And I've only had to service ceiling fans a couple of times, but I do notice something that's in every one of them, and that's this little black box with two wires coming out of it. They're either 2 wires or 4 wires. And I'll bet that's the rectifier that has the phase reversal on it, you know?
Yeah. And, you know, even your alternators, to a certain extent, you can change them into a generator. And the most common way to do it is get rid of the electromagnetic magnets in it and just put your regular neodymium. Right. Magnets in it. And boom. You have both either a motor or a generator. And I mean, that's how the old generators worked as well. Although, like you said, like I was saying, a lot of them had electromagnets in them, you know, so to create the field.
Yeah.
But if you
the neodymium is a permanent magnet, so it does need to be excited by electrical field.
Exactly. So you can run them without a battery and have a generator.
Yeah.
All you need is motion.
Yeah, I've been studying up on these brushless electric motors, and when you look at a schematic of a brushless motor, it looks exactly like an old radial engine out of an airplane.
Oh, no kidding.
Because it's got like the coils are in positions going all the way around the radius.
Yep.
You see, that's how that works.
Okay.
Instead of having a single field coil and an armature and a stator, you got all these little series of coils going in a radial design around it.
Yep.
The thing is that it has to work off 3-phase power. That as it rotates, it keeps changing the polarities within each coil going around it.
Right.
And the more coils or cylinders, if you will, that you have, the more powerful the motor is. But that's basically how they work. Someone was clever enough, you know,
to
think that up, you know, that you don't have to have a stator and an armature. You can have a series of, and it's my understanding that that's like these little drones and stuff. That's the types of motors that they're using in those brushless motors, you know. So.
I got you. Does it have any capacitors?
I don't know. I haven't looked into it that much, but it wouldn't surprise me that it does, you know, because so many of these motors, electric motors, are what they refer to as a capacitive discharge start or run motor. So, you know, when I was doing heating and air conditioning, you know, you have a capacitor in your condenser outside.
Yep.
Yeah. And you got to have a capacitor to start both the motor and the compressor, you know. So
usually I run 2 stages. You got a run capacity,
Yeah.
start capacity.
On a 2-stage, you'll have to have one.
And then now some of these motors in different places I run across, they got a 16-stage motor. That means it starts up like it's got 16 gears basically. Well, the capacitors in that situation, I mean, are a pain in the ass, and each one brings it up to a level. It's kind of weird.
Steps up.
Well, like a step system. Yeah.
You know, when I was doing heating and air conditioning, York, I was installing York equipment, but this is pretty much straight across the board. You had Rude, and you had American Standard, and just all the top name brands of the time. I was doing York, where they were playing with the variable speed blowers on these things.
Yes, sir.
And for the purposes, they're trying to just make the systems far more efficient. This is in the late 90s, early 2000s. And one of the things that they would do was they would have a variable speed motor in it. And because they had computer controls, it made the whole system work better. And how they did the variable speed was they weren't AC blower motors. They were DC blower motors.
Exactly.
They could do just that. That through the electronics, instead of having just a regular rheostat, it was run through a circuit board that had step ups in DC voltage that would just keep bringing the motor up. You see?
Hey guys, give me a second here. So I know this is a new computer. That's with the old computer. That's why I had the headset. I'm going to see how this computer speaker and the microphone.
Well, it does work better when you take the headset off, because we can hear both of you a lot better that way.
Yeah, that's what I was trying.
I'm going to go grab another beer. Did you go completely off now? Because I'm not hearing anything. Let's see what happens if I. Yeah, that's a little better. Now you don't have the glare of that ceiling light. I can't see any of the comments on my end. I'm wondering if I can tune it in with another phone. Yeah, I'm still not hearing anything on your end though.
All right, how about now?
Yeah, in fact, don't speak so loudly. You're blowing it out.
Oh shit. Okay. All right. Well, cool. Like I said, it's this is a new computer. The reason why I had the headset is because the other computer, both the speaker and the microphone, were shit.
Yeah.
So,
it's working fine, just as it is right now.
All right.
That's how you should open it. If you're going to have more than just yourself on, just leave it like that. You know.
I wasn't planning on trying to get on. You caught me interest when y'all started talking back and forth about cars.
Yeah.
I was telling you, Philip is.
Well, don't be afraid to join in the conversation. We can find something to talk about that we got in common.
Yeah, guys.
And obviously, AC heating and air conditioning is one of them. You know.
I do.
I'm kind of old school in that regard.
Sir?
He's old school in that regard.
Right on. Same here. I mean, I'm 54 and I got raised into it. I've been doing it since I was able to actually carry tools.
Well, Philip is what, 93?
102 now.
102. All right. I'm sorry. I knew I was close. When you get to that age, if you're within a century, you're close.
But the heating and air conditioning business was, I would be third generation in that. And I'm old. My grandfather and his brother started their own company shortly after World War II.
Oh, wow.
And they were they were just another group of guys that helped pioneer the idea of central air systems. And what they specialized in was putting forced air, central heating and air conditioning into homes that were never designed for ductwork anyway.
That's been my
And they-
profession.
Yeah.
That was my profession. Me and my father,
Uh-huh.
we did. I mean, that's what we did. I'm
Yeah.
better off as a installer.
Yeah.
I go into $350,000 homes and I cut holes in your shit.
Yeah.
Stuff is absolutely gorgeous.
Yeah.
I was taught by two of the best, as far as I'm concerned, down here in Virginia.
Yeah.
My father and his best friend, and I'm a better fabricator, installer.
Yeah.
And since then, since I'm retired, basically, disabled.
Yeah.
Now I still do service calls, and I can't do the crawling no more because I busted my leg.
Right.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I still do
I
it.
spent more hours in a damn crawl space than I care to recall.
I tell you what,
Yeah.
I don't regret it. I'm done.
But let me tell you, I've told Mark this story before. We got to go back to the date of September 11th, 2001.
Eric is going to join us too. Go ahead.
Okay. And
Hello.
on,
Hey, Eric.
on the date of
Can you hear me?
September 11th, 2001, we all remember that day.
Yes.
Well, about a week before, in the shop that I was working at, a shop that my grandfather had established and was being run by a fella that had spent 15 years with my grandfather. His name is Jerry. About a week before that, we were just so damn busy that I told Jerry, I says, you need to bring in more help. And Jerry tried to make some effort to contact people, but there was a young kid, only about 18 years old, that kept stopping in the shop wanting a job. So when this kid came in, I told him, I said, well, look, fill out an application and I'll put in a good word for you and I'll try to get the boss to hire you. Because at the time,
Was he totally green? In other words, did he know nothing?
totally green.
That's
Totally
awesome.
green. Didn't know the first thing about it. But I didn't have a problem with that because that's how you want to do it. You want to get a young guy and show him how to do it right.
Exactly
You know?
right.
You're not trying to correct some other guy's instructions, and
I
break
hate
bad habit.
Cross my way and say, "Oh, I know all this. I know all this." Then we get
Yeah.
on the job,
Yeah.
and what happens? I got to carry
Yeah.
their ass because they don't know shit.
Yep.
Let me
Or
interrupt.
you're
Just for,
breaking bad habits.
Yes,
let me
sir.
interrupt just for a second because Eric is on here, and I just
What's he
wanted
doing?
to know that he's on here with his video now, and we
Yeah.
can hear him. And just wanted to say hi and let him know he's here.
Yeah.
But Eric, Philip was in the middle of a story. But
No.
what's going on, sir? You still there, Eric?
I'm
It
hiding
looks like
back
you're in the hardware store.
in the shelves here. Talk later.
What?
Can we put it in an order now?
Yeah. What?
You don't
What are you
think he's a
shopping
hardware
for,
store.
Eric?
Give me some of that metric stuff you got there. We need that over here.
Yeah,
Oh
for
God,
real.
no, we don't.
I can't find any. That's my biggest problem. Everything's
Oh,
metric and I can't find it anywhere.
But where is he at?
Oh, Eric,
Yeah, that shop.
Norway,
Huh?
Norway.
I mean, what kind of supply shop is it? Like plumbing, refrigeration,
Well,
I mean,
Yeah.
or just
Looks like
basic?
nuts and bolts to me. I can't tell. This screen's too
can't see
tiny.
it. I can't see. There we go. Now you're screening down on it. Can you? What's up, guys? Can you see it?
Yeah. Eric, what kind of shop you at?
I wonder if he hasn't touched something on his screen that's muting him.
I bet he has.
Oh, yeah. Hold on a sec. Let's see. Could be on my end. No, yeah, he's showing that his mic is muted.
Is it? Eric, turn your mic on. You might have to go back in the settings. You might have to cut out and come back in. Because I know when I'm trying to join in. Yeah, look, he's got the message anyway.
Yeah. All right, buddy. Yeah, I'm sorry. Can't hear you. Oh, okay.
Oh.
We kind of heard that.
I didn't.
Then you froze.
Oh, okay. Let's put forth this hypothesis. Maybe he's at work. Maybe he's not supposed to be on his device, so he's
Either
not
that or
talking
he's-
too loud.
Yeah, yeah.
He's
okay.
whispering into the mic.
It looks.
Yeah.
It doesn't look like he's putting stock up. It looks like he's actually shopping for something though.
Well, he
Well,
could
he
be
could-
pulling orders. Oh, there you go.
There you go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or he could be shoplifting, and that way he wants to keep
No,
quiet.
no. Let's not say that.
Too late. It's out
Yeah.
there. I'll try and
But
edit
it's
it.
kind of fun too. Let's play. What's Eric up to today?
Yeah, there you go.
And all he can do is mime.
Yeah, keep that in your mouth.
But
Yeah, there you go.
You want me to grab your beer on the back? Or
Yeah.
coffee.
But you know, if you work in a warehouse, it's a distributor for the hardware stores. That's exactly what it would look like.
Yes,
Just
sir.
row after row after row of bins.
Oh, tell me about it. You know, I wish I could set my shed up to have that stuff, man. That'd be awesome.
Yeah. Well, you can, but at that level, you're already in business.
Yeah.
You know.
I don't have the money for that.
Yeah. All I can say is thank God it's not a data center.
Yeah. Yeah. Like, you know, I'll tell you what, that's one of the things I've always been hands-on, not that I
Yeah.
profess to be any good at it, but
Yeah.
I've always been hands-on, and
Yeah.
I need something tangible. You know,
Exactly. Exactly.
I can't deal with, well,
Let me finish that. Let me finish that story real quick.
Sir, please. I'm sorry.
So, like I said, so there's this young kid that comes into the shop and he's looking for work. And I had him fill out the application and everything. And when Jerry showed up, I told him, I said, look, this kid's ideal. I says, you know, he doesn't know a damn thing. He's only 18 years old. He doesn't know a damn thing. Why don't you hire him in, make him my assistant? I'll teach him. I'll teach him right, you know? And Jerry just told me, he says, yeah, he says, just call the kid. I'll hire him. You know, he can work with you. And so I did. And I think it was Tuesday. I think it was a Tuesday morning. I think September 11th was on a Tuesday morning. And it was this kid's first day at work. And he came into the shop. And I was getting on 9 o'clock, which would have been 10 o'clock Eastern time.
Yep.
And I noticed that the boss, Jerry, isn't in the shop yet. So I thought I'd call. And first place I called was his house. And sure enough, he was there. And he's telling me, oh, man, you got to turn on the television. Because we had a television, a little black and white television in the shop.
Yep.
He told me, you need to turn on the television. And, of course, we all know that story. But here's the point. That me and that new kid, first day on the job, his first day on the job was September 11th, 2001, 18
damn.
years old.
Well, you
And,
can't forget the hire date.
Yeah. And which leads me into another story, by the way. But to finish this story, we're sitting there watching the news until about noon when the kid realizes, because this kid, see, his mother was divorced, and it's just him and his mother living alone in this apartment just down the street. And the kid was needing a job because his mother wasn't, she didn't have a high paying job, and they're struggling to survive. And that's why this kid's looking for a job, you see, trying to support himself and help his mother. And then it is until about noontime that it dawns on the kid. He's like, geez, well, what about my mother? He's like, I got to go check on my mother. And I'm like, okay, yeah, go do that.
Yeah.
You know? And the kid ran off. And then he comes back a week later. Didn't see him for a week. Comes back a week later and told me that he's enlisted into the military. And
Oh, no shit.
And he's going in. And that's the last I ever seen of the kid. And there's that story.
I gotcha.
So I think I missed out on an opportunity to teach a young fellow the trade, you know? And
You know, something too, though, this
I
training's
just
not
hope
for
for-
everybody. It might have scared him a little bit because it is kind of overwhelming
Mhm.
if you're not grown into it being green.
Yeah. Yeah.
And he might have thought it'd be
Well, I
easy.
knew that he would be a good candidate, though, because he's very open-minded. He
Yep.
wanted to
Yeah.
listen. He wanted to learn. And here was the thing. The job that we were supposed to go do that day was installing a bunch of ductwork down in a damn crawl space. And I could have used some help with that. Somebody with younger knees,
Yeah.
Did y'all make y'all's own ductwork or did you have it made for
Oh,
you?
yeah. We fabbed all of our own ductwork. That was something
here.
that, granddad. Yeah, granddad pounded into us. As a matter of fact, I test somebody because I'll tell you what, I'm just appalled at what I see for ductwork down here. These guys just get that duct board and they cut it like they're cutting plywood and slapping it together with aluminum tape, and they call it ductwork. They got not a freaking clue. In fact, when I first moved down here, that was one thing that I noticed that was sorely missing was a good sheet metal shop. So I thought I'll get in the sheet metal business, but no one uses sheet metal ductwork to begin with around here. They'll buy that duct board and a roll of tape,
It don't
and
roll that way down
everything here is run in duct board and aluminum tape.
And some of us too, if you don't have the right tools to cut duct board and put the shit together, imagine all them fibers. That's fiberglass coming through your
Yep.
house, breathing
Yep.
that shit.
Yeah, because
I
a
have done
lot of that duct board isn't lined. You still got to line that, in order to eliminate the fiberglass.
Yes, it's a trick to
Well,
it.
And nobody does that.
No,
Nobody does that.
I've done it because I'm so old and whatever else been through it. Do not like it. Do not approve of it. But I do know how when I do it right, we.
Well, I've had to do. Yeah, I've had to do it.
Sir.
I've had to do insulated duct where we line it on the inside with
that's old school.
fiberglass insulation, but there's still another polymer liner that you got to put in it. And
Right.
the fiberglass rolls of insulation is not that expensive. It's that liner because they know you need it, so they gouge you on the price. So a lot of companies skip that step.
Of course. Everybody
And,
tries to do a low budget. And
Yeah, exactly. Well, it comes down to the competition because you got to think of the consumer, and it's so true down here. You would think that in the deep South, where cooling is
Imperative.
it's imperative, that you would think that people would get the most efficient system you can buy
Mhm.
to get the most out of your system. No.
All
You're seeing people still installing 10 and 12 SEER AC systems down here.
Really?
Yeah.
Eric's back up for a second. I thought he got tackled by security.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I just had to throw that in there.
Down here in Richmond, we're actually.
Yeah, he's making a run for the car now.
Yeah.
Hurry,
Must have shook him off.
Eric, run!
I can I can talk now.
Okay. All right, buddy.
So what was going on, Eric?
Switching from the Norwegian to the English is another thing. My mirror is in the way, but
sir.
I hope it's okay.
I like the beard, Derek. You're looking good, buddy.
Yeah, I can't shave it now because I got compliments. I'm not used to that.
Yeah.
Damn, looking more like a Viking every day.
Well, that was more a pirate, maybe. In Norway, we use metric, as you said, and all the camera stands use UNC, of course, inch threads, and I want to build my own camera thing, so I had to buy.
Well, let me ask you:
Yeah.
Is that was that some kind of warehouse, or is that a retail store that you were in, or?
It's
what-
actually a Danish word for it, but that won't help you much.
No.
You
Isenkram-butikk. It's
need to set me up to be able to join this.
old family shop, actually. It's been here for I don't know, 100 plus, at least 100 years.
Okay. So, but it's open
And
to the
the-
public to be able to come in and shop and buy the things you
Yeah,
need.
and then you can get like this.
Yeah.
In
Yeah.
all other retail stores, which I think is the correct term, you have to buy
Yeah.
20 or 50 or 100.
Yeah.
Not
Yeah.
two.
I understand. Yeah.
Touch screen.
Yeah. We
They
have
just put
things
it in a
like that
scale
here.
and you pay for the weight.
Yeah. Yeah. I see. So you have to buy large quantities of whatever it is you need, correct?
Usually we do that,
Yeah.
but luckily we have this old family tradition store, which has actually survived all the chains and big
Right.
stores.
Yeah. I understand.
And that's quite unusual, actually.
Yeah. Yeah.
I want you to help me get to be able to join you guys.
And I'm not that proud of my city, but actually we got this store and we got the only butcher in all our district.
I got a cigarette and beer. I'm not being a bum.
So in this town you can actually get fresh meat from the butcher directly.
Well, that's good. Yeah. See, here we have such a system from the livestock keepers to the butchers to the warehouses that by the time it gets on the store shelves, 4 or 5 different entities are involved in that. That by the time it gets to the retail level, it's all this markup because every time you have somebody in between, they have all got to make a profit. And here at the
But,
consumer end of
luckily-
it, you just pay way too much for it.
Yeah,
So,
well, yeah, you got the original where it originates from.
Yeah.
They might sell it for 50 cents.
Yeah.
The guy that bought it for 50 cents, now he's in business. Okay,
Yeah.
so he needs
Yeah.
to make a profit.
everybody
So
marks it
he'll
up
sell it.
100%.
Yeah, he'll sell it for $1.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
Then they have to transport it, okay, and
Yep.
have to pay for shipping and everything to
Yep.
get it to the stores. All right. So they're gonna include that price, whatever it costs them to
Now
ship
it's
it.
$1.50.
Yeah. And then when it
Well,
gets
now
to
it's
the store,
$3
they
to the
still have
next
to make a
guy.
profit, so it's $2.
Yeah.
And that is the wholesale price is $2.
Yeah.
If you want to pay retail, they're going to mark it up again to $4. So
100%.
what
Yep.
originally started as 50 cents will cost you $4 by the time you walk in and have
Yeah.
to pay it for yourself.
Yeah. Actually, it's up there to closer to $5 now, but yeah.
Well,
Because everybody marks it up 100%.
yep,
And then you got transfer and shipping costs.
exactly.
That's gotten to 50 cents on the dollar.
And then
You
what
know?
everyone else we forget about is insurance, because if that load doesn't make it, it has to be insured.
Yeah.
And whoever is insuring it, they're not going to pay for that themselves. They're going to pass that on to the consumer.
Yeah, they pass that cost on. Yep.
Right. So that's where you get your $5 instead of your $4. Because
Yeah.
if it costs them 50 cents to insure it, they're going to pass that on and charge the consumer $1
Yeah.
instead of the 50 cents.
Any one group, any one person along that chain, they look at the overall cost of purchase
Right.
and they double that. And that's just it. You take that 50-cent product that you're going to sell for $1 because you're getting 100% markup. Well, in order to move that product, and the insurance and everything, there's that dollar. Now the next person buying it's got to pay $1.50.
Yep.
So that $1.50,
Sure.
and he's going to mark that. He's just going to look at the overall cost him $1.50. So he's going to 100% markup on that, which is $3. And he's got
You wanna
passed
play
on
a
the next
game?
guy, and there's another 50 cents onto that. So that now it's $3.50, and that guy's going to sell it for 100%. So it's now $7. And you see, and it's just like you said, a 50-cent item ends up costing you $7, $8, down the road.
Do you want to play a game?
Sure, I'm up for a game.
I need to. This StreamYard screen is so freaking small. I can't even see what's. I tried. I think it's in the middle. It's the gas prices here.
Oh my
So,
God.
we're in liters, and I
Yep.
think that's about a quart for you.
Yeah,
So, what
right.
do you think 1 quart of gas costs here today?
I'm saying the equivalent of a one U.S. American dollar.
Now I'm gonna say, honest to God, because a gallon over there, I'm thinking is around $10. So I'm thinking it's about $2.50 for a liter.
You're kind of something in between. It's more correct, actually.
Oh, yeah?
We had higher prices, but then this Hormuz thing happened, and the government actually lowered some taxes, which is
Oh,
quite unusual.
yeah.
So we were about $2.50, I guess. At least $2, but then this tax thing happened, and if I just guesstimate what the dollar is today, we're about 170 today.
170.
Okay, 170.
Yeah.
170 per liter.
Yeah, per liter. So multiply that by 4.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So you're
about.
over $5. $5 for a U.S. gallon. Now,
Yeah.
and we got to emphasize that because over there in Europe, everything is done on the British
Imperial.
gallon,
Yeah.
the Imperial,
Yeah.
which
Yeah,
is
but
actually more fuel,
that's fine
which is
about
actually
the
more than a
metric
U.S.
system. That
gallon.
the metric is the same each continent. You don't have to
Yeah.
change in between.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go into a retail store now, so I'll shut up again.
Well, I just filled up my truck
I
today,
can only imagine. I bet that bitch is like.
and right down the street, believe it or not, right next to the highway, which prices are usually higher, I paid $3.24. No, I'm sorry, $3.49 a gallon.
I was at, I had to go up into Alabama to get my gas.
You are.
But that's because I only buy no ethanol gas. And it's far more readily available in the state of Alabama than it is in the state of Florida.
Yeah.
And that was about a week ago. And bear in mind, this is no ethanol gas, which is going to be more expensive. And I think it was $3.79.9. So call it $3.80 a gallon.
Yep.
And I go up there and I fill up my gas cans with it because the reason why I buy that is because most everything that I have that I rely upon, like I want to, because we're into hurricane season here now. So you better be ready with your power generators. And I have a power generator, and then I got a backup power generator. And you got to keep engine oils and fuels and everything on hand, you know? And so I'm buying it by the 5-gallon cans. And yeah, that kind of worked out to just under $25 for a 5-gallon can. About 4 cans, so I spent $100 on fuel, you know.
And you know what? We're bitching about it, and poor Eric over there.
Yeah,
right?
well,
he's
yeah,
paying $1.70.
Oh yeah,
basically per liter.
Oh yeah, in the 90s,
and
in the 90s. I'm sorry, go ahead.
We're paying under $1 per liter.
Yeah.
We're paying about 90 cents.
Yeah.
So
yeah, so
yeah.
Yeah, they're paying almost double what we're paying. Yeah.
Yep.
But I've always known that it's always been more expensive in Europe. I can recall back in the 90s, I was working for a window company, and it was managed by a husband and wife that were English, and they're constantly talking with family back in England. And I was blown away by what they were paying $5 a gallon for gasoline in England back in the 90s.
Oh.
You know, at that time, you know, when we're paying, when we were bitching about $2.
Yeah, when I will tell you what, when I was in the service on post, I was paying 86 cents a gallon. Go off post, and I was paying $1.20. And you know why? Because on post back in the day in the 80s, we weren't getting charged the taxes on the fuel.
Yeah.
That was the biggest difference. I mean, think about it.
Well, you know, with that,
you're paying
with that-
almost half the price of your fuel was taxes.
yeah. Well, on that note, I'd like to point this out, that this little town that is my closest town, the town that I'm considered a resident of in the unincorporated area, this town has the highest gas prices of any other town, not only in this county, but of the next 4 counties.
Yeah.
And the reason for that is because this city puts a tax on it. And
Right.
because we've got an interstate that comes through where most of the gas stations are immediately adjacent to the interstate, it's just,
Yep.
it's just, that's just price gouging, plain and simple.
Oh yeah.
And what they're doing is they're catching people that are driving through.
True.
They need
Yep.
to get fuel, and the town is getting rich on the dang taxes.
Oh
and
yeah.
and here's the ironic part: there's a community, a very wealthy community, just to the south of town, by about 20 miles or so. Very wealthy community, all lakeshore properties. You know, only the richest people can afford to live there, and their gas is cheaper than what it is in this town,
Yep.
because they're not getting gouged by the city tax. And
Oh,
most
exactly.
of the gas price is in taxes. It's either in federal excise,
Hello, Carol.
commerce taxes, state taxes, local taxes, county taxes. There's just all this other stuff, you know?
Oh yeah.
In fact, they say that if you were to eliminate any one tax from the gas prices, you wouldn't notice a difference. Even
Oh.
at the federal excise tax, you wouldn't notice that much of a difference. Maybe 10 cents.
I'll
Yeah.
tell you what. 2 things. One, I want to say hi to my sister Carol. She just showed up. She's listening.
He's on it. All right.
And
Hi, Carol.
2,
Tell him Sean said bye. I'll get him.
yeah, Sean's gonna take off, so y'all take
All right.
care. He said bye. 2, I got a picture somewhere. And it showed my dad getting gas. And this is in the early 20th century. Gas was 5 cents a gallon.
Yeah.
Okay. And
They sold
showed
it by
right-
the gallon.
Yep. And
The
it
old
showed
pump
right
tag
there.
gallon. Yeah.
Gas, 2 cents a gallon, tax, 3 cents a gallon.
Yeah.
You were paying more for the tax than you were for the product.
Yeah. But
Now-
I wouldn't care, because I'll tell you what, 3 cents a gallon with a 50% tax on it, that's still not a bad deal.
No, that
How
was
about
over
ours?
100% tax. Because think about it. Like I said,
Yeah. Well,
even
yeah,
back
it is
then,
100%.
that was pennies on the dollar. But let's
Yep.
bring it up to something we can relate to a little bit more.
Just add a zero.
Right. That's like
Add
paying,
2 zeros.
that's like saying gas is worth $2, but you're going to pay $3 for
Yeah.
every gallon in tax. So
Yeah.
it's $5 a gallon.
Yeah.
You know, that's yeah.
And then that progression doesn't, it's not a straight line.
No.
It's a curve,
Yeah.
you know, and it's an unpredictable curve too,
Right.
you know.
'cause
'Cause
nobody's
that's just
gonna
how math
pay-
works.
My God, if they came out in the United States and said, all right, we're raising the price of gas by $3 per gallon because of taxes.
Yeah.
Oh my God. Yeah. You know, you talk about people, we've got more guns here in the United States than we do people.
Yeah.
Yeah, there would definitely be an ammunition shortage big time because it'd all be getting used up.
Yeah.
So yeah, we would not stand for a $3 tax on a $2 product.
Exactly. But that kind of takes me off into a couple of different areas. One, I once heard a politician say that you shouldn't be complaining about the gas prices because a gallon of milk costs more than a gallon of gas.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, that's true. But I don't need 20 gallons of milk to get me to and from work every day.
Right.
You know?
Right. The volume of it.
And secondly, we produce and buy, and we've got tons and tons of gas. And this whole thing that's been going on with Iran, you know, this is an artificial price gouging is what it is. It's the oil companies and their cronies just gouging you
Yeah.
in anticipation of what may be a shortage. There's
Right.
never been a shortage. It's
No,
the big financiers at the top who are panicking you know, and they want to make sure they get their money. So it's an artificial price increase based on their panic,
Yeah.
not
well,
ours.
think about it, Philip. All right. So the strait was closed down. Europe is complaining about they can't get their fuel or anything. All right. And since the 80s, we've heard, well, we're dependent on overseas oil. Okay. We're dependent on all this. And what happens? Trump goes, hey, we'll open our reserves and sell you the oil, and prices immediately drop. I mean, not by a huge amount, but my point is what you're saying is there's no shortage of gasoline. There's no shortage of
No.
oil.
No.
Now, I will say this.
Yeah, we've never
and
been in a
I've
better
noticed this
position.
even being a truck driver, because I used to haul gasoline. We used to have, just in the United States alone, we used to have 7 different refineries. Okay. Now, due to a lot of weather circumstances, I remember when this happened, we're down to 2 refineries
Yeah.
for all this fuel. That's, and that will increase the price of fuel because they can't keep up with the demand. And they're not fixing the other ones, or at least they weren't for almost 2 decades. And now to fix them, you have all that infrastructure that's rotted and everything. You have to take care of that. That's going to be expensive. It can be done. But one of the biggest things is, and I didn't understand the idea behind it or why they did it, thinking as a normal person, why you would, let the refineries just sit there and never fix them.
Yeah.
Well, it's because it was cheaper at the time to get the oil refined overseas and have it shipped, all this good stuff.
Yeah.
But that also made us dependent on them. And one of the things that showed up was, during the beer virus there, the corona.
Yeah.
We noticed it started hitting home how much we depend in the United States on imports. And a lot of people are like, no, this ain't right.
Yeah.
This ain't right. But yeah, it's one of the things, we don't have the refineries anymore.
And that's
We
just
might
it.
have the raw product, but we don't have the refineries.
About that whole virus issue, I'd like to add this thought that that came on the tail end of Donald Trump's last administration.
Yep.
And into Joe Biden's administration. And the Biden administration, in my opinion, seemed to want to maintain the old status quo and keep us a cooperative within the international community. And that's the one thing that Donald Trump was trying to break away from.
Yeah.
And sure, I mean, there's going to be some growing pains. There's going to be some higher prices if we become less dependent on the foreign countries, especially China.
Yep.
But you know what? China hasn't been sending me any jalapeno peppers anyway.
No.
I get my jalapeno peppers from Mexico. So, but when Donald Trump starts pissing off the Mexicans, then my jalapenos get higher,
I got you.
So that's how it touches on me. You see, I equate it into things that affect me.
Well, yeah.
And I've said this before, that I've always been treated as an outsider. So I've almost taken the position in life that I'm just an outsider looking in. With that being said, it's like being a spectator at a race. You're not the guy in the car.
Right.
You're not the guy calling the race. You're just a guy sitting there watching what's going on. But that gives you a very unique perspective.
Yep.
Because that, the old saying, hindsight's always 20/20.
Oh, yeah.
And when you're watching a race and these guys going around in circles, he's like, he should be cutting down on the inside instead of staying up high on the outside.
Yep.
It's easy to be the armchair mechanic or the armchair coach,
Yep.
But in this particular case, whereas it comes to the world order and how things are going here in this country, I'm in the position of a unique perspective of having that third person perspective. I can see what's going on, and I don't buy into a lot of BS that and I'm sure this is just as true in my grandfather's day. You know,
Oh,
my
yeah.
grandfather would be like, he'd be trying to teach me. He'd say, "Don't believe half of the bullshit that you see." There was an old saying back in the day, and that was, "Believe nothing you hear and only half of what you see."
Right. Exactly.
You know?
Yep. Yep. And you know, it's funny. My dad was the same way.
Yeah.
You know, did the same thing. And oh, good Lord.
Let me put it
You
this
know,
way.
he was born in 1914, so he saw a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
And what he was able to see too, and he said this when I was a kid, this has all happened before. We've been through it before.
Yeah. Yeah.
Nothing's
But that was
changed.
just it. My grandfather
It
grew
comes
up,
in
you know.
cycles.
My grandfather was a teenager in the Depression era,
Yep.
and you know, he'd been through some, and that Depression, you know, that just wasn't in the United States. That was happening all over the
worldwide.
world.
Yeah.
And that's what spurred on World War II, because especially hurt was Germany.
Mm-hmm.
You know, they were getting their asses handed to them, because on top of everything else, I mean, these people have to walk around with wheelbarrows full of Deutschmarks to buy a loaf of bread.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah. Well,
their currency system had absolutely no value. And then on top of that, they had a debt that they had to repay to all of Europe. You know,
yeah,
they had to pay
World War
for the
I.
damage that they created in World War One.
Yep.
So yeah, they were just handed their ass in that one. But you know what? They shouldn't have started this shit to begin with. you know?
Yeah.
Hey, hold that thought, or just go on and ramble on for a minute. I got to go hit the toilet, grab another beer, and
All right. We'll
Make
wait
some
here
smoke.
for you.
so this is what I will do. I'll turn the camera to perhaps a more beautiful view. All right,
I gotcha.
I'll let you sit here and look at the birds.
I gotcha. And since Sean has left, you know, I know
Here, how's that?
hey,
How
that looks good.
how about the sun coming up?
There you go.
All right, be back in a minute.
Since Sean has left, I know the mic is working good on this, but I'm gonna have to figure out a speaker for this thing. So y'all give me a second. I'm plugging back.
My microphone, my headset. And yep, okay. Oh, that was easy. I hope y'all can hear me.
Yeah.
But all right. So yeah, all right. Now, Eric, especially you, I was having a hell of a time hearing you on the computer
Uh,
speaker. Now I can hear
okay.
you.
Okay. Ah, sorry.
All right. So what's
Well,
up, buddy? You've been awful quiet. How you doing?
I was in another shop where you can see that, and they did not have what I wanted. Not, I was out for 2 items. Both of them were sold out, so I'm going to the next town.
Oh, okay.
But the phone is so hot, to put it.
Oh shit.
Yeah. So I don't think it helps to turn off the camera, but I am holding it in front of the vent in the car,
Oh, okay. I gotcha.
and with the charger, so hopefully it will last.
I gotcha. Yeah, yeah. Maybe it's time for a new phone, buddy.
No, the iPhone Mini. I
Oh,
won't leave it.
that's your problem. You got an iPhone. See,
I don't think that's a problem, but it's a small phone that actually works. The iPhone 13 Mini is the last small smartphone.
I got you, man. No, it's just
I
being a
can
smart ass.
I can buy a cheap Android, but it's too fucking big for my pocket.
I gotcha. I gotcha. So, hey, look. Yeah, what I asked earlier. What do you think of the World Cup? Do you follow that at all?
I had no problem just hearing about it, and not interested in soccer, as you call it. At all, almost. I think I mentioned in the live that I attended a football match for the first time in I don't know how much time has been. It was my cousin's son playing.
Oh,
Uh,
okay.
so then it was all right to watch, but I don't. I'm
don't
not
follow it
pulled
big
towards football at all, or any sports for that matter.
I got you. Well, same here. Same here. I was just impressed and amazed and happy that all these people coming over here to the states, and
Yeah.
honest to God, they're finding out, you know, that the states are not what the media portrays it to be.
In,
You
in
know,
what kind of way?
well, in a good way. In a good
Okay.
way. You know, they're having fun. Um they're being welcomed. You know, as far as everything I've seen. You know, and
I
here's the
wish I
thing.
had the camera on right now because I've seen some wedding cars, but never a wedding truck.
Oh,
It was a
okay.
big Volvo, maybe the last 780, with bands in the front, and I could clearly see the bride inside. Big
Oh my
dress.
God. But yeah, no, like I was saying though, they're pointing out a lot of little things that, growing up in the States, no matter what state you're in, that we take for granted. One of the biggest things too is they're amazed by the size of everything, from
Yeah.
the roads to the states themselves, how
Yep.
big each state is, and even food. Because one of my biggest things is food and music. That will bring
Yep.
people together, and
Yeah.
they're all impressed, no matter from Texas to Florida to Boston. The local
Yeah.
foods, and they're all different, no matter what region you're in. The local food is all different, and the portions though.
Yeah.
Yeah, the portions are big.
So how
Um,
was the scene anyway?
but yeah, welcome back, Philip. But again, we're talking about food again, and the difference, and what America has to offer for food. Because I mean, the food you get in Texas.
Yeah.
I mean, we have the Arby's, we have the McDonald's, we have the Denny's, we have everything, that's nationwide. But
Yeah.
when you get to the local, I mean,
Yeah.
Texas barbecue is totally different than North Carolina barbecue.
Yeah.
It's totally different than anything you're going to find in New England.
Yeah.
New England seafood is completely different than what you're going to find in California, than what you're going to find in Florida.
But that's the beautiful part about where I'm at right now is that you run into a lot of your locals selling just their product.
Yep.
There's a little place, like I said, I'm not that far from the Alabama state line here. There's a place that I have to go buy just to get my gasoline that I told you about. I have to go up into Alabama to get that gas. And there's a little place called Edmondson's Farm. And they're actually not a little place at all. It's a big farm where they grow produce right there. And they supply a lot of it to the local grocers, really good produce, And I would just stop by there the other day. And you can get, like for instance, I bought a cantaloupe and I bought some corn on the cob, sweet corn on the cob,
Yep.
and they just got all kinds of stuff. And it's all seasonal kind of stuff that a few months ago, back in, believe it or not, March and April, they were growing their strawberries. You get the best dang strawberries,
Oh,
and that's
yeah.
the beautiful part about it.
Yep.
It's all homegrown stuff and it's right local, and I really think that the reason why the state line is where it is because in Alabama you got good topsoil.
Yep.
But at some point in the geography, it turns to sand.
Yep.
And that's where they decided to draw the line.
Right.
And as a matter of fact, here's the truth: that panhandle part of Florida, the reason why it's part of Florida is because Florida lost the bet. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Alabama won that one because neither one of the two states wanted this part of Florida. They're like,
Right.
I don't want it. Well, you take it. Well, we don't want it. You take it.
Yeah. Well,
Well, and Florida lost that
for it.
argument.
Yeah.
You know.
I'll flip
So
you
now
for
we're
it.
Florida.
Yeah. And
But
and
yeah, as soon as you get over the state line, you get into some good soil, good farm country, and you get good produce, yeah, I kind of look forward to going up there and getting gas. I deliver because I don't have to take that route to that gas station.
yeah.
I take that route just to go by the Edmondson's farm just to see what they got.
Oh,
you
I
know?
gotcha.
And they had like Gaylords full of goddamn melons this time. You know what a Gaylord is.
Yes.
Yeah, it's
Yes. Yes.
and for those who don't know, it's like a pallet
Yep.
that has cardboard sides to it.
Sides on it. Yep.
You know?
Yep.
And
Yeah,
they were
well,
full of watermelons. They had
Yep.
two different types of watermelons there. They had the seedless, and then they had your traditional watermelon, and they had cantaloupes, and oh God, I don't remember what all, but they also had some real nice looking bacon potatoes there. And here's the thing: here in the Deep South, first of all, big, huge baked potatoes just aren't
Oh,
that popular.
yeah.
But they'll have a damn Gaylord full of them red
Yeah.
potatoes. You know,
Well,
they love their
yeah.
red potatoes down here.
Yeah, I'll tell
But
you
they're
what.
fine, not
being-
knocking them either.
Being from
You
New
know?
England, though, being from New England, Maine potatoes and Idaho potatoes too.
Yeah.
I mean, love the baking potatoes, love the
Yeah.
baked potatoes, and you know,
And then you got
have-
them other kind of potatoes, the I don't know potatoes.
yeah, yeah,
You got Idaho and the I don't knows.
yep. But I'll tell you what, you know, and especially in New England too, potatoes, everything.
Yeah.
No matter what you're having, you got potatoes either with it or in it. You know,
Yeah.
they're huge, and again, that's a regional thing up in the
Yeah.
Northeast too.
Yeah.
For
For me, the idea of having meat and potatoes means steak and a baked potato to me,
yeah,
and I
well,
just love, there's nothing like having a nice, big, huge, fat baked potato,
Oh.
that you can put butter and sour cream and
cream and
and
bacon
your
bits
potato-
and cheese,
bacon bits
and
and your chives.
and yeah, oh my God, yeah,
There's just nothing like that, boy.
Yep.
In fact, I got 3 potatoes in here, and I don't know why. I live alone. I've got a month's supply worth of potatoes in here. I got 3 potatoes, but that's
Yep.
a month's supply for me.
I gotcha, and I'm gonna plug my channel here for a second.
Go ahead.
On my regular YouTube channel, for anyone that likes home fries, okay, and I'm not talking the shredded ones, okay. I have 2 videos. Actually, I have 3. One was a live video, but I have 2 videos on how I make my own home fried potatoes, and they are a huge hit. I mean, I've
Really?
been making them for years, and I stole
to
it
check
from
that
my
out.
dad. I stole the recipe from my dad, and I made it my own. I added a few things, left out a few things, because, like I said, regional too. Believe it or not, down here in Virginia, you would think you'd be able to get it, but it's so hard to find. Salt pork,
Oh yeah,
hard to find it. Well, anything that I can afford, I'll put it to
Yeah.
you that way.
yeah.
All right. So I replaced the salt pork with bacon. Okay. So yes, my home fries, if they don't actually have the bacon in it, they're fried in the bacon fat.
Right.
My dad
right.
my dad used to use salt pork. He'd fry that up so it'd be nice and crispy and everything. And but it's damn hard for me to find it down here. I can get pork belly and everything, but it's not the same as
Yeah. Yeah. Well,
Well,
salt pork
consider salt
in and of itself just isn't, because that was the reason why they did that was to cure the pork.
oh
And there's so many different ways of doing that now.
Yeah,
You know.
yeah. My sister Carol
Yeah.
just popped in here, and you got to
Yeah,
realize my
I
dad
see
was
that.
from Maine. This is what he used to say about the red potatoes. And this was true too. The red potatoes was what they used to feed the pigs.
Yeah, but you got a nice pig out of it.
Oh yeah. Oh, definitely. Good bacon. Yes.
Yeah. In fact, here's another blessing that I have with being so close to South Alabama. South Alabama is one of the one states that's still holding on to their pork industry. And I'll tell you what,
That's
you
good.
get some of the best ham, sausage, any pork product, whether it's ham, sausage,
Oh,
because everything else. Now, like I said, when I was up in the Chicagoland area, because that's where I grew up, there was one farm that is historic, and there's a lot of story behind it. But it's out there in Iowa. It's near Dubuque, Iowa, and now it's turned into an entirely different thing. Now, but they had a lot to do with the Swift Corporation. We all know what Swift Brown and Sir sausages and stuff.
Yep.
Well, that was a Chicago-based company, and but it's just gotten too corporate and homogenated.
right.
That it doesn't matter what you're doing. It's just not that you get the same thing no matter. It's like a McDonald's hamburger.
Right. Right. Exactly.
There was a movie. You might remember this movie, but the reason why I bring it up is because it kind of hits home on a point that I'm trying to make here. I think it was the movie Memphis Belle. Have you ever seen that movie?
Yes, sir. I have.
I think it's that movie where there's these guys that are a crew on an old B-17 bomber.
Yep.
During World War II. And they're sitting there at one scene in the movie, they're all sitting around talking about what they're going to do after the war.
Yep.
And the one guy's talking about how he wants to open up not just one hamburger stand, but a chain of hamburger stands.
Right. Right.
And he's telling them, he's like, and I want to make my hamburgers in such a certain way that, first of all, they'll be delicious hamburgers, and I'll make sure that they're made exactly the same no matter what stand you go to.
Right.
And one of his buddies is like, why would you want to do that? Why would you want to have the same hamburger everywhere you go? He's like, I'd like to have a different hamburger everywhere I go. And you knew what that was segueing into, because what McDonald's became. Because you could get it was the same hamburger no matter where you bought it, And I like the other guy's response. He's like, why would I want the same hamburger no matter where I go, you know? And it's one philosophy versus another.
Right. Yeah. His philosophy was, no matter if you're from Massachusetts, California, Texas.
Yeah. You get the same damn hamburger.
You know what you're getting. You know what to expect. And and I'm sure he was talking about it's going to be good to begin with. Okay.
Well, what I didn't pay close enough attention to in that movie is the name of the character that came up with that idea. Because if that particular fella in that movie, if his last name was Croc, then we know what they were talking about.
Yep. Yeah. Well, I'm sure there was a bit of poetic licensing taken with it, but anyway.
Perhaps.
Speaking of potatoes, and my God, another picture I have is my dad used to go from Maine to Florida before the interstate was put in, and he would run the season picking potatoes, or I should say Florida to Maine, Maine to Florida. He'd go back and forth. He'd run the whole East Coast. He worked for a company called the Eastman Potato Company.
All right.
And he did that for years. I got a picture of him in an old chain-driven Mack. Flatbed truck. And that thing, sacks of potatoes going over the cab of the truck. Not a single one of them are strapped or tied down.
Yeah.
And oh my God, yeah. And
you know what that meant? That somewhere along that route there'd be free potatoes, because you knew some of it would fall off the truck.
That was the funny thing, because I asked him about it. And he said he never lost a single potato, let alone a sack. He said it never.
Well, you know what? That was the secret to Jimmy Hoffa's success.
Yeah.
We all know who Jimmy Hoffa was. And, in Jimmy Hoffa's day back in the 30s when he first started, well, things just fell off the truck.
Yeah,
You know?
Yep. But it was fun when I was about 7
Could you-
years old.
Could you imagine? Let me interrupt for just a second. Could you imagine some guy sitting on the side of the road selling iPhones and saying, they just fell
It just
off the
fell
truck.
off the truck. Yeah.
Yeah, I got an iPhone here that it
Yeah.
just happened to fall off a truck, you know.
Oh my God. Yeah. Well.
You put a Jersey accent on the end of that, now you know you got a criminal.
Yeah. You're only a criminal if you're caught.
Yeah.
But oh my God. Yeah. When I was about 7 years old, up in Maine, visiting family up there and everything. My dad brought me with him. This old guy, he was on his deathbed basically, and walked in. He said, "I want you to meet somebody." He said, "I have to see him before he dies." And he walked into the room, and the man gets up, sat up. He looks at him. He goes, "I know you." He said, "I cannot tell you your name." He said, "But I know you." He said, "You worked for me." And this was the owner at the time of Woodman Potato Company and everything. Years later, he said, "But I remember you." He said, "I remember you," and he told all sorts of stories about what my dad did for the company. And this, like you were saying, this is back in the 30s.
Yeah.
And even to this day, I kind of thought that was amazing. The man could not remember my father's name, but he knew him on sight.
Yeah.
And hadn't seen the guy in over 60 years or so, something like that.
Yeah.
But
that's something that haunts me because, I go through life and every now and then I'll see somebody and I'll be like, I know that person. I don't know their name, but I know them. I know them from somewhere. And sometimes it's overwhelming and I just got to approach them and say, I know you from somewhere. Where do I know you,
Now,
and we like to play that game of where we might know one another,
Now,
but the best answer to that question was, I went up to a guy and I told him, I says, I know you from somewhere. I says, why do I know you? And he's like, it's a small town.
Yeah. Now, my sister just brought this up. Are you sure he wasn't running moonshine, using potato peels? Well,
yeah, exactly.
That was something my dad could do, but
Yeah.
no. Now, Carol, if you remember, one of the stories Dad used to tell was that no, they didn't run the moonshine. And of course, actually, they did. But the big story he used to tell was that him and his brother, all right, because they grew up in Maine, all right, they're only 32 miles away from the Canadian border. My Uncle Claire was a pilot. They used to fly that airplane. This is during Prohibition. They used to fly that airplane into Canada, and it was on floats. They would fill the floats full of Canadian whiskey,
and
then fly it back, land it in a field next to the water, next to a pond,
pump it out.
And there'd be people there to pump it out. Now that was one thing.
That kind of reminds me of my uncle, and actually he was a grand uncle of mine. He was an uncle to my father.
Oh, okay, yeah.
And taking into consideration where he lived and where he grew up and what he did at the time and the times, but he flatly denied that he had anything to do with bootlegging. He wouldn't do. No, I'd never do it. But you know what? He did know this, which kind of spills the beans on all of his denial.
Yeah,
is that he acknowledged the fact that you could run a flathead Ford on moonshine.
Oh yeah.
Now, how do you know that, Uncle Martin? If you hadn't tried that, and where did the moonshine come from? Oh no, I never run moonshine. I never was a bootlegger. But you know what? You can run moonshine in your gas tank on them flathead Fords.
Believe it or not, through the 70s and 80s, my uncle had 5 legal totally legal stills up
Yeah.
in Maine. All right, paid the taxes on it and everything, and that's the only reason why that shit was illegal. They couldn't
Yeah.
figure out how to get the tax.
Well, they did a repeal of that around
Yeah.
here. That is just they just flat out just repealed the making of alcohol. Anything is just about illegal now, and so much so that I think I've told you this before. But there's an old movie theater right in the downtown that a couple of brothers they just started a distillery right in downtown, you know,
No shit.
and they're selling moonshine right out the old movie theater in the downtown area, you know.
Well, I'll tell you what. The reason why my uncle had the legal stills,
Mhm.
because you're talking about running a Model A on moonshine.
Uh-huh.
He had his Cessna. Now he was a brush pilot, and he had several camps out in the woods, especially for hunters and everything. The only way you could get to it, honestly, was fly into it, land on the lake. Okay, he had 5 of those camps. You could take the old logging roads, but it'd take you fucking forever, and it was not a good ride.
Yeah,
Not maintained.
very exclusive,
Yeah.
you know.
But he'd rent these out, and I mean, he had nice cabins too. He had
Yeah.
they were set up real nice.
Yeah.
But he used to run his airplane on the moonshine he was making. He used
Yeah.
to run it on the alcohol. He had
Well,
it converted.
getting
So-
back to what I was saying about how they've deregulated it around here,
Yeah,
and so much so that there's such a competition. There's so many different distilleries in the area that my local distillery, that's only 2 miles away, actually went out of business.
oh my god,
And I bought there, and you remember this? There was one video that I did. I've got the back of that Corvette just loaded with whiskey.
yep,
You know,
yep.
But,
And you know, here's the
they
funny-
went out of business, and here's where I'm going with that. I've got 1 bottle of that stuff left, and now it's going to become a collector's item because that company's out of business.
yeah,
I'll be
no
right
shit.
back.
All right. Well, here's the thing too. We're all bitching about the ethanol that's being put in the gasoline. Well, it's not much different than the moonshine that everyone used to run on their old cars, you know, to use for gasoline. The difference is the fuel system, the internal parts. Ethanol is really not good on some rubber hoses and everything. Oh,
Here we
there
go.
we go. Friggin'
This is
awesome.
from the local distillery,
Oh my god, yeah.
and this is a completely sealed bottle. There's the
Yep.
seal.
Yeah.
Hasn't been open yet. This is going to become a collector's item.
You know, if I was you, here's just a suggestion. Get yourself some candles. Melt them down in a pot. And turn that upside down with that cork.
Yeah, and seal it
seal
again.
Yep, seal it again.
That'd be a good idea. Once
Yeah.
I knock the dust off it, I just grabbed it. I just noticed. Look, well, I don't know. It's not coming up on camera, but you can
Yep.
see where I touched the bottle and knocked the dust off it.
Yep. Yep. Because I mean, the
But yeah,
Angels,
Timber Creek was the name of that. Isn't it?
Yep, the Angels have already had their share.
Yeah, of this one.
Okay. Yep, they've already had their share. They don't need any more. So if I was you,
Yep.
I would
Yeah, because
I
that's
would
just
wax
it.
seal it. Yeah.
This is oak barrel aged whiskey.
Yeah, you can tell by the color. That's for damn
Yeah.
sure. Yep.
Yeah.
Because the moonshine is
But I'll
clear
tell you
'cause it
what,
hasn't
when
been
you drink it, because
aged.
I've had this before, when you drink it, it's you're not picking up any of the aged barrel. It tastes like freaking moonshine,
Corn
and
liquor.
it'll knock your socks off and curl your toes at the same time.
I gotcha. Eric, if you're still able to hear, because he can't talk right now, Carol. My sister was asking if you ever finished your model.
Which model?
The one we were talking about, what, 2, 3, maybe a month ago? That model
the
that you
Lego?
were building. Yes, the Lego model.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Uploaded
he
a
has
video,
a video
actually.
off of it. Yep.
Yeah. On this, not you can see what this channel is, but my name, not the Bonnet Auto channel, but my name.
Yep.
There it is. Um,
Can't see it.
I think I called it. I bought the Bronco, or I own the Bronco, or something.
I got you. Well, when you get a
So
chance, just throw it up in the comments, and that way I will link it
yeah,
and star it. At least I will try to, anyway. But
this is about $70 on sale.
all right, what do we got there?
Three-way laser, cross laser,
Oh my God!
almost half price. So that's why I went to the next town.
Oh, okay. All right, cool.
So he's back. Are you back in that warehouse, Eric?
He went to the next town,
Next,
sir.
Oh, next town over.
same,
Oh, all right.
same chain.
Say hi,
Same
Chris.
chain, right? Got it.
The wife is here. She's saying hi to everyone.
Hello.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Hope she's doing well.
Yeah, she's doing okay. We had the
So good.
yesterday had the port put in for the chemo. You want to?
Right. Well, I don't know how much of that you want to talk about. I mean, that's a private
Yeah.
matter,
Yeah.
but
I don't
yeah.
know if you can
Well,
see that. Yeah.
yeah. Well, God bless you. I certainly wish you the best.
Well, thank you, sir. Thank you. Yeah, I don't want to make a too big of a deal of it on the internet,
know.
but
Well,
I
it's,
also don't want to hide it.
that's yeah. Well, it's a personal subject.
Yeah.
But I went through that and
Yeah.
with not good results. And
Right.
you know my history, and I'm just not
Yes,
going to.
sir. That's one of the reasons why I reached out to you too, and
Yeah.
told you what was
Yeah.
going on.
Yeah.
But anyway, yeah. So far, she's doing good. Gonna start the first cycle at the end of the month, June 30th. June 30th, we'll start the first cycle, and
That's just it. See, I can't even talk about this matter because where I'm at and my opinions on that subject, it's just not ready for prime time.
right.
I've got some serious opinions, most of it motivated by emotion, and I'm aware of that, and I'm just angry and frustrated. But I will say this: that in the area that I'm at, if you had any kind of medical competence at all, you wouldn't be wasting your time in a deep south, backwoods, rinky-dink, bullshit little town
Yeah.
trying to make a damn living. If you was any kind of a good doctor at all, you won't be here. You'll be up at Boston, Chicago, New York, Atlanta, Miami, LA.
Yep.
You're not gonna. So the point is that here, yeah, and then this is the ideal spot for corporate greed and corporate interest to really sink a hole, because they want to do nothing but maximize profits,
Right.
which means bilking the insurance companies out of every dime they can get out of them in an area where they know that a majority of the patient population is funded under the federal government, and they try to fleece that for all it's worth
Yep.
and do nothing for the patient. They're just trying to keep you alive long enough to milk you for all the profits that they can get out of it. They don't give a damn about you, your health, or well-being. They only care about the dollar. And they do that on top of everything else with a skeleton crew of minimum wage employees that don't have the skill level or training to even take care of it. And now I'm going off on a tangent, and I think at this point I'm going to keep my mouth shut.
All right, sir. I'm sorry. See, this is where we're fortunate. One of the few things that Richmond is good for is
Oh yeah.
their medical.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they're very good. 25 years ago when I first met Chris, I was going
I
through,
got too many stories that I
yeah.
can tell you right now that confirm my suspicions. I should just
Well,
hold my tongue.
well, here's the thing. I went through chemo and radiation myself, therapy and everything, and I was on what they call clinical trials. For simple fact that the VA paid for it for me. My regular insurance wouldn't cover it, but the VA did. One of
Did I lose you? Seems like you froze up, and I can't hear Eric either.
I'm not saying anything. So
Oh, okay. Yeah. Well, Eric, I think Mark froze up there.
seems like it's.
So, what are you looking at, Eric? Yeah. See, I think we lost Mark, but we're still on his show. So
I
let's
found
keep
this
it going for a minute.
table, and there were two different purposes, though.
Let me ask you: when you mentioned that laser device, what is the purpose of that?
Constructing,
I'm sorry,
if you're putting
constructing.
all, for walls, or yeah,
Oh,
anything
I
that
see. Like,
everyone.
is it like a laser level?
Yeah,
Oh, okay. All right. Yeah.
automatic leveling, and
Oh, I see. All right.
you may
Okay.
see it three
Yeah.
ways at the
Yeah.
same time.
Yeah.
So
We
when
have
the price was
something here
right,
in the States. I don't know. I can't tell from this screen, but we have something. There's one tool that I have. It's referred to as locally as a PLS 5, which it's a 5-axis laser level. It shoots
Mhm.
in 5 different directions all at the same time, so
Ah.
that you can get plumb and level and the like from. In fact, I used mine to put up a set of gates on
Mhm.
on a portion of my property. I wanted to make sure the fence posts and the gates were plumb and level, so they'll swing good. And
Yeah.
yeah, I employed my PLS 5 to do just that. So and so what were you? Well, do you got a project coming on that you're going to be doing?
I hope so. I got vacation now, so maybe I'll do something. I'm
Yeah,
not.
right.
I have way too many projects, so
Yeah,
maybe one of them. At least I'll start.
yeah.
Probably won't finish, but I have to go
So you're just
pay
kind of
for
out doing
this.
a little tool shopping today. Is that what you're doing?
Yeah, this table, which I thought was convenient for the porch.
Oh, all right. Okay.
But I'm gonna go to the cashier and be silent for a little while.
I understand. I understand. In the meantime, you can turn your volume down. I'll keep talking, try to keep this thing still on the air while Mark is trying to come back on. I don't know what happened to him.
Yeah, well, yeah,
Okay, there he
I'm
is.
back, right? All right. Well, here's the thing here. Y'all grab your tinfoil hats. Okay.
Ah, one of those things.
Yeah, because normally I kid around about conspiracy tinfoil hat shit.
Yeah.
We start talking about actual real life stuff,
Yeah.
serious shit, cancer.
They want to bump you off
yeah.
the air, don't they?
Yeah, and
Well, that's
I'm
because it doesn't feed the corporate interest.
right, and
Yeah.
I get into talking about. Look, I went through clinical trials 25 years ago. I'm still here. All right,
Wow.
so there is shit that you can survive it if you
Yeah.
have. This is funded again by the VA, federal government, trying
Yeah.
shit. And unfortunately, I'm pretty much thinking that the stuff they tried on me actually fucking works. So it's probably not available. But anyway, I kind of find that, read into it what you want, but I just find that amazing. We get onto that subject, and Philip, that's happened to you
And you
and
get
I.
bumped up.
Yeah, that's happened to you and I before when we get into
Yeah.
serious
Well, you
shit.
know what? Now that you mentioned that, my question to you is, I think it was way back in the beginning when we met, we were talking about some product
Yeah,
that was out there that I don't remember exactly the subject, and it's only reoccurred in my memory now that I seem to recall. Whatever it was, 3-4 years ago, you were talking about something, and I asked you what is the product name and this and that, and you sent it to me, and then and it was something that was at the time a breakthrough, and you never heard anything more about it.
yeah. Like
You
I
know?
said, I know this has happened with conversations we've had before,
Yeah,
and not just you and I, but I mean, it's happened to me
yeah.
several
And
times.
generally speaking, yeah.
Yeah, he gets in, and it's kind of like, all right, well, gee, that's a
Get on
coincidence.
this, and they block you off.
Yeah, but after a while, there's only so many times that can be a friggin' coincidence. You
Yeah,
know what I'm saying?
exactly.
And again, I'm not one of these. Honest to God, I kid around about it, but I'm not
Yeah.
one of these tinfoil hat conspiracy theory type people. But after a certain amount of time, the same shit still happens. It's kind of like that's really fucking
Well,
weird.
there's another old saying that goes with that, and that is, twice is a coincidence, 3 times a charm, 4 times a suspicion, and 5 times there's a conspiracy.
Yeah. Yeah, oh yeah, definitely. So anyway, before I get flagged again or something like that, we'll just change the subject. I know you don't want to talk about it either, so.
Yeah. Well,
But
I'm over it. I got to move on.
yeah,
Especially a person in the stage of life that I'm at. I'm just trying to make the best out of a bad situation, and just
Yeah.
trying to move forward and live out my life with a certain amount of quality of life. In fact, I like to tell you this story. It's a bit personal, but I don't mind sharing it. Had to stop in the bank yesterday to change my debit card. And the reason for that is because one of my online subscriptions sent me a message stating that there's been a request for an address delivery change. Now, I know damn well I didn't put in a request for an address delivery change.
yeah,
So I'm trying to make and you know how it is with all these online subscription crap. You can't talk to anybody on the phone.
right.
But I just don't take no for an answer, and I just badger the crap out of them until you can get somebody, even if they're on the other side of the planet.
Right. They speak
I'll
Hindi.
get to talk to somebody. But the results that I got were not satisfactory. So I just decided to go to the bank and get a new card issued. And I'm sitting there talking with these 2 women that are in the bank. One of them was a trainee, and standing over her shoulder was her supervisor teaching her how to do her job.
Yeah.
And she's getting her real world experience now of actually having to deal with a customer that wants to do something, so she's kind of walking her through the steps. So, and that explains why I've got these 2 women in their office and that I'm a guest in their office. And I'm going through and I told myself the only problem that I have with this, with changing this number and getting a new card, is that, because for me, that's a fail safe. I can
Right.
go into my bank at any time and just change it.
Yeah.
Now, there are some repercussions to that, a multitude of different repercussions. One, it affects your credit score. So
Yep.
it's not advisable. Don't do that unless it's absolute last-ditch effort. Me, I don't have a credit score to begin with. I've been living my whole damn life. I didn't buy a damn thing that I couldn't pay for right there,
Right.
John, on the spot.
Yep.
And
the system doesn't like that.
No.
They want you to be an
In
indentured servitude.
Yep.
You see, they don't like it when a guy can make it on his own. That's where the whole
You're
part
only-
about being
yeah,
on the outside looking in.
Yep.
You know, you're not part of their program. And I've never been about that. But anyway, so I'm telling these two girls, and I told them, I said, the only downfall to that is that I do have 2 different prescription medications that come via mail. And I says, and what's going to happen there is that might affect my subscription, and I might have problems that way. And the women were actually concerned. They're like, well, you know, is this some type of medication that is absolutely necessary? And I told them, I said, well, no, you know, I can live without it, you know, but the prescription medication allows me to have a better quality of life as opposed to not having it, but I can live without it, you know. But for right now, I've just got to shut the whole thing down, because this is about trying to figure out who's leaked that
Right.
information or whose system has been hacked.
Yep.
And I will know, or at least this is my philosophy, that I will, if I shut everybody off, cut everybody off, it'll be the one person that contacts me first and contacts me the most
Right.
about how they can't have access to my account and they can't debit my account. That will be the most likely suspect who's breached our confidentiality agreement, you see. So I'm right now in a waiting mode, you know. So the point is, I've shut everybody off, you know,
Oh, I
and
gotcha.
and now we're playing the waiting game. Now I'm waiting because there are those that they just automatically debit your account. Some of them, they debit your account. They don't send you any notice. They don't tell you nothing. Some of them send you a notice letting you know that your prescription has been filled or your
Right.
service has been rendered,
Yeah.
you know, but they don't ever tell you how much that they're debiting from your account. And you
Yep.
got to keep calling the bank to find out how much you got, you know. So,
Yep. Yeah. You got to keep an eye on.
yeah. So, but by doing what I did, that's cutting everybody off.
Yeah.
And it is my belief, because I know human behavior. Here's where AI falls into play there, because I don't know how AI is going to act, but I know human behavior. And it will be the one person that comes forward
Yep.
first and squawks the loudest is the one that's trying to pull all the scams, or at least is responsible for
Right.
the breach in our confidentiality agreement.
Yep.
You see, so. And that's all I got to say about that.
No, I gotcha. I gotcha. I understand. I agree with that 100%.
So,
But
so I
All
see
right.
Eric back on the road again.
yep, Eric's driving.
See, I got to keep scrolling up and down because I can't see the full screen. You know.
Oh shit! My sister Carol said she doesn't have any credit. Pardon me, any credit cards, and
Yeah.
she still pays by check.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I do the same thing. And
I gotcha. Here, I'm getting a call from a buddy of mine, Danny. We're going out to a gun
All right.
show, so I got to take this. I'm gonna let you talk to my wife for a minute.
okay.
Hey, Danny, hold on just for a second.
Hi, Philip.
Hello. You doing okay?
I'm doing all right. Yeah.
Oh, good, good. How's the weather there anyway? That's one subject we haven't talked about. I hope it's nice there.
It's nice today. It's not going to be quite as humid. It's going to be in
Yeah.
the 80s, but not as humid.
I've been getting pounded by rain, and there was one other subject I wanted to talk to Mark about, was because I'd already posted some videos about how I'm getting all this rain and I'm getting water running down the street and flood my yard, and I got a little creek going on in my yard. But you know, after watching the local news, I should really be quiet and just count my blessings, because there are people here in this area right now. Their whole homes are flooded out. You know, there are parks and thoroughfares and everything else just flooded out. And so, yeah, you know, as bad as I might think I have it, I should just count my blessings because it could be worse.
It could be. Okay, he's done with his phone call, so I'm going to give you back to him.
Okay.
Thank you. All right, buddy.
Did you catch any of that?
No,
Or
no,
was
I
you
couldn't
on the
hear a
phone?
damn thing.
Oh, I
Yeah.
was just telling your wife that you might have caught some of my last posts with pointing out that I got a little creek going on in my front yard.
Yeah.
From
Yeah.
all this heavy rain because it's been raining for a week
Yep.
and a half. Oops, hold on a second, I lost it. I've been belittled by that because after watching the local news and watching how badly the whole area is flooded out, that, me sitting there complaining about a little creek forming in my front yard is kind of an inappropriate topic,
Oh, I gotcha. Yeah. Well,
Because, everybody, towns are flooded out, rivers are overflowing, people's homes are getting flooded out.
oh, Jesus. Yeah.
Cars are floating down the dang river.
Yeah. Yep.
So maybe I better pull that last video that I shot down. In fact, I actually shot a second video explaining why I have that going on. And here's the thing. See, like I said, I'm very rural. I'm way out in the backwoods, and we didn't even have a paved road for years.
Yep.
But the county came in and so graciously gave us paved road, but they just didn't do it right.
No, I gotcha.
And here in this property, what it is the road comes downhill and then it makes an abrupt right-hand turn. The road does.
Okay.
But
Yeah.
the
So you get
water
all the
doesn't know
runoff.
that.
Yep.
Okay. So the water flows down that hill and don't
Yep.
know to make a right turn.
I
So it
gotcha.
just dumps right into my front yard.
Well, try putting
You
up
know?
a sign for it.
Yeah,
Water.
put arrows or something.
Yeah.
Put,
Yeah. Yeah. Jesus.
I'll write
Yeah.
water this way.
Yeah.
But,
Exactly.
And that's in the second video that I posted. I did just that. I focused on the road and how it's downhill slope, and water just comes right down that paved road and just dumps right into my yard. But which is, it's an issue for me.
Oh yeah. No doubt.
But at a time like this, when other people's houses and cars are floating away
Floating
down the
away.
river, it's kind of a bad time to be
Yeah.
complaining about a creek forming in my yard.
I
So
got.
maybe I just better take that down, hang on to the video, and just repost it at another time, more appropriate. So listen, I better go ahead and get off of here
Yep.
because the sun is shining. I can see blue skies, and if I'm not doing something productive, I just ain't worth a damn then.
Oh, I got you, buddy. Yeah, and, that call I got, my friend Danny, he's been on
Mhm.
here before.
Yeah.
He's coming over. We're gonna go to the gun show,
Oh yeah.
and we're gonna see what they got out there. Because I don't know if y'all are familiar with what's going on with Virginia, but basically, it's turning into, I hate to say it, Massachusetts. And a lot of this
Making it
stuff-
harder for you to get a gun.
Yeah. Oh my God.
Really? Yeah,
terrible.
down here in the deep south, especially Alabama, they give you a free gun with every tank full of gas you buy.
No, I got you, man. I got
There
you.
are
Yeah.
politicians that are actually using guns as bribes for their votes. They're like, you vote for me, I'll send you a gun.
I got you, man. Yeah, but anyway, so July 1st is when all the new laws that
All right.
damn government or governor implemented are supposed to take effect. The thing is, most of them are unconstitutional, both between
Yeah.
the United States Constitution and the Virginia Constitution.
Yeah.
So that's going to be tied up in legal battle
Yep. Right.
for
Right.
a while. But before I get into that shit, I want to see what they got.
But let
See
me
what's going on.
say this about the United States Constitution. Now, I'm going to leave on this note.
All right.
The United States Constitution does not grant people any certain rights at all.
No, it does not. Nope.
It states in the Constitution that the rights granted to you are rights granted to you by God,
Yeah.
and that the Constitution is nothing more than a writ of guarantee that the government will protect your God-given rights.
Right. It's not.
Remember that.
Yeah. It's not stuff
It
that
states
the,
so. It says, you know, that that
we hold these truths to be self-evident,
yep,
and
and that all
by-
men are created
endowed-
equal and are endowed
endowed
by
our
his creator
Yep.
with certain inalienable rights.
Right. Exactly. And that's the thing.
And,
that,
and people seem to forget that. These
Yeah.
are God-given rights. Your God-given right to live your life as you see fit,
right.
you know, and shall it not be ever impeded, nor shall the government ever make any law that impedes upon this right.
Right.
I think that's I believe that's in the Constitution, that particular part, right?
Yes, sir.
The government cannot make any law. It states so specifically that the government cannot make a law that impedes upon your rights.
Right. And
So-
here's the thing, like you were saying, the constitutions, either federal or state, do not grant you the rights. What it does, what they do, the constitutions, they limit the power of the government to take away
Take
Your
away the power, your God-given rights.
rights.
That's right. That's
And
right.
So
Let's
a
not
lot of-
forget that.
Yep.
Because
All
we're
right,
the only
buddy.
country in the world that
that
even
has
does
it.
that anymore. And the
Right.
whole reason for why that Constitution exists is because of the powers that be at the time just prior to the writing of the Constitution were just that. They were overbearing imperialist ideologies where the people were nothing more than subjects to be used like you use toilet paper.
Exactly.
You know, they wipe your ass with you, and that's what makes us Americans. We just are not gonna stand for that.
No.
You know, we're just not gonna take it. So, with that being said, I'm out here.
All right, sir. You have a good day.
All right.
And yeah, that's it for me too. Eric, you have fun.
Yep.
You take care, buddy.
Yeah,
I'm
be
gonna
nice
end this
to
now.
talk to you again.
It was good. Well, it was good seeing you, talking to you.
Yeah.
And Carol, my sister, you have a good day. Yes, I'll give you a call tomorrow. And bring you again. No, there are a certain few laws that I have to abide by, and transporting between the states here, yeah, especially going up to Massachusetts, yeah, it's not a good thing. But anyway, you all take care, and we'll
You
catch
too.
you. I might be on tomorrow. I don't know. We'll see how it goes. But you all take care. And appreciate you all joining in. And thank you so much. And yeah, I'm looking for the off button. It takes a minute.